Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad.
Has officially announced his retirement, right? He told the people around him that he is retiring from the sport of boxing. He is no longer going to compete in the sport of boxing due to his frustration with the way and the direction the sport of boxing is going in.
Whatever. I don't know. Maybe this could be the reason why Tank say he want to leave boxing. He gonna tap out stuff like that. He still has to fought Devin Haney. That's not going to happen.
Gervonta Davis has finally opened up about his decision to retire from boxing, saying he's tired of the spotlight and constant attention. He shared that everything he says gets exaggerated, and people often take his words the wrong way. Davis admitted that living in the public eye no longer allows him to be his true self. He also mentioned that boxing doesn't thrill him the way it once did, and even called the sport boring now, which ultimately led him to walk away.
Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad, all around human being.
Yeah. Is it the fame? Is it something that you just don't like all the attention? Or
yeah, I'm starting to shy away from the attention and things like that come with it.
Yeah, because it's like anything you do or say, it's all over the blogs. It's taken the wrong way. It's getting posted.
Yeah.
Like you can't even be yourself at this point.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. It's getting more so lame type of thing.
The primary reason behind Gervonta Davis's retirement seems to be his increasing frustration with the sport. His team revealed that he's been under significant pressure and facing a lot of uncertainty, especially due to an ongoing legal matter involving the mother of his children. They admitted they don't know how the case will turn out, and the stress from the situation has clearly taken a toll on him. These challenges appear to have deepened his disconnect from boxing, likely playing a major role in his decision to step away from the ring for the time being.
So I'm sure by now many people have heard about the news that was broken by Rick Glazer, who stated that 5-time world champion, 3-division world champion, undefeated superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 28 wins by way of knockout. 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 28 wins by way of knockout, has officially announced his retirement, right? He told the people around him that he is retiring from the sport of boxing. He is no longer going to compete in the sport of boxing due to his frustration with the way and the direction the sport of boxing is going in.
With Gervonta Davis officially announcing his retirement, fans and boxing analysts have been quick to react. The announcement gained traction after Happy Punch tweeted, "Gervonta Davis has reportedly retired from boxing after being fed up with the sport. Tank is retiring. Won't fight again," is what he's telling those close to him via Rick Glazer. While many are shocked by the sudden move, others feel it reflects the emotional and mental burden he's been carrying both inside and outside the ring. According to Blue Blood Sports TV, Davis might not be stepping away from the sport permanently. The analyst suggests Davis is currently overwhelmed by a mix of personal and professional challenges, which could be driving this abrupt decision. A major factor seems to be his reluctance to engage in a rematch with Lamont Roach, a fight he reportedly views as lacking significant reward. Instead, he's said to be aiming for a major payday, possibly through a high-profile match with Jake Paul on Netflix, rather than continuing under Amazon's promotional banner. This interpretation suggests Davis could be using the retirement announcement as a strategic move, something he's been known to do in the past, especially before his first fight with Roach.
Gervonta Tank Davis retiring? No. Has he told people this? Yes. But this is nothing new. I told you the Lamont Roach Jr. fight was off. It was going to take place in June. He was not happy with the way things were playing out. He wanted to get to that Jake Paul bag with Netflix. That has nothing to do with Amazon. Jake Paul is in charge in that situation. Ain't gonna put that money in Tank Davis's pocket. I told you guys this. But you guys don't believe me. You always love to say I'm capping or hating on Tank Davis. No. Just telling you what's going on behind the scenes. Gervonta Tank Davis is not going to retire. He's frustrated. He may step away from the sport of boxing for a while. But, again, he was already planning to do that before the Lamont Roach Jr. draw.
Despite mixed reactions and continued speculation, Gervonta Davis has officially confirmed his retirement from boxing. While some think this could be a temporary move caused by recent frustrations and personal challenges, Davis has made it clear that he's stepping away from the sport for now. Whether this signals the true end of his career or just a break remains uncertain. Only time will tell what the future holds for the skilled fighter.
Tank Davis is retired? Superstar and legendary knockout artist Tank Davis has officially retired. Or so he claims. Tank Davis has had one of the hardest 18 months in boxing. See, first he just got out of prison. Then he had a fight with Lamont Roach that should have been a pushover, which afterwards he was going to negotiate a huge money fight with Jake Paul. But Lamont Roach had a great game plan and they ended up having a draw. That Lamont Roach probably should have won. It was a controversial no knockdown call. But now Gervonta Davis is once again facing jail time after some domestic abuse charges. So I really think this is temporary. He's probably just retiring for now, especially with all the legal fees this man's gonna need. Part of this is probably to avoid the Lamont Roach rematch and push that off as he can. But really, most of this is probably so he can focus on his legal issues. And then after all that is wrapped up, he's gonna get back into boxing. Boxers do fake retirements. It's just what they do. Especially after disappointing fights and doing legal troubles. Tyson Fury's in the middle of a fake retirement right now. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think he's really retired for good? Let me know in the comments.
Amid a range of opinions and ongoing speculation, Gervonta Davis has officially announced his retirement from boxing. Bleacher Report tweeted, Gervonta Tank Davis announces he's retiring from boxing after 2025, signaling a firm stance from the undefeated fighter. Davis has been vocal about stepping away from the sport for over a year now, often citing exhaustion with everything that comes along with being a professional boxer. He's repeatedly said he wants to leave the sport due to personal struggles and non-stop pressure. Most recently, he reaffirmed that he has no intention of returning to the ring, explaining that he doesn't even feel anger anymore, something that once fueled his fighting spirit. Former champion Antonio Tarver also weighed in on Davis's situation, voicing concern over the young boxer's trajectory. Tarver emphasized that raw talent and in-ring success aren't enough without personal development and growth. He also pointed to a broader issue facing many young fighters today, a lack of strong mentorship and guidance. Tarver sees Davis's situation as a reflection of this deeper problem and expressed disappointment that such promising potential may be going unfulfilled, especially with a major fight looming.
You're right here in New York City, man. Always showing love. All right, so Gervonta is the Fight Hood TV. So happy to see you once again. The biggest talk, let's jump into it. Obviously, we got a good weigh in here in a moment.
Yes.
We got some good presser after this. The biggest talk that just happened moments ago, Gervonta Davis, jump into it, kind of, I wouldn't say it's a big shock to a lot of us, but, there's this mindset, the fight with Lamont's not signed yet. Apparently, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Like, what's put it in and out of boxing right now?
Hey, man, I don't know, but, get these guys the bag so they can get the hell on if they not committed and dedicated to the sport. All they want is a bag. Give them a bag so they can go, bro. I mean, let these fighters that really want this shit, let's parade them. Let's get behind them. Let's support them. Let's build them. I'm not saying I don't know what happened. But I just hope and pray that young man get it together. He's at the top of his career, prime of his career. I would want him to be remembered more by the things that he's doing in the ring rather than out. But, sometimes you got to win in life, too, before you can get in that ring and win. And sometimes life is harder than any opponent that we can face. And I just hope he get it together, bro. I feel like a lot of these young men don't have no mentors, bro. It ain't no more handlers in the game, bro. It ain't nobody taking care of the camp. These guys out here on their own frequency, bro. And I just think there's no more leaders in the game, bro. They're not going to where that real energy is that can really humble these guys a little bit. We only got a short period of time to be professional boxers. This shit is over quick, bro. And you don't ever want to live with no regrets.
Bernard Hopkins shared his hopes for Gervonta Davis to overcome his legal challenges and urged him to put his family first. He stressed the importance of making amends with the mother of his children and emphasized staying focused and maintaining a positive mindset. Hopkins also suggested that refocusing on boxing could be a constructive step toward rebuilding both Davis's personal life and his career in the sport.
The alien Bernard Hopkins. Bernard, first of all, good to see you, my man.
Good to see you again.
good
Yes, sir.
to see you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's a lot to talk
second
about.
home, brother.
I'm starting to say the same thing because I'm here
Yes,
almost
here
all the time.
In and
All
out,
the time.
in and out.
Bernard, a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it real quick.
Come on.
I'm sure you saw the news about Gervonta Davis being arrested once again. Just give me your thoughts.
Unfortunately, man, I hope he come out. You know what I mean? Everybody else come out. I'm not with the domestic violence thing, man, but I hope that, he get that straightened out and he get back to focus on his family and his career. Family first, and then career second. But I just wish both his ex-girl, his kid's mother, can get things together and look forward and be positive going forward.
Bernard, you think his head, is there right now with boxing? Do you think he just needs another mentor? What does he need? Because he's a great talent.
I don't know, and I don't know him that well.
Gervonta Davis has shared his personal goals beyond boxing, expressing a strong desire to become more grounded and supportive for the people who matter most to him. He admitted that the demands of his lifestyle and career have often distanced him from his priorities, especially his daughter and his family. Now, Davis is committed to shifting his focus, showing a clear intention to grow emotionally and strengthen his relationships. His decision to seek support and be more present in his family's life highlights a deeper awareness of what truly matters to him at this point in his journey.
What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. Checked out the press conference yesterday, watched the Rise podcast, 2 days ago, watched the Rise podcast response to it yesterday, and I just have to say, I see a lot of people think that, Tank is bluffing with the retirement talk. Could be. I doubt it, though. And I'm going to tell you why I doubt it. When he talked about wanting to seek therapy and the person he has to be in order to be the fighter that he is and wanting to be a softer person, for his daughters, and wanting to seek therapy and become a better person and be with his children and lead a limelight, it seemed like a lot of emotion and passion in that. He seemed like he really meant what he was saying. There's a lot that comes with not only boxing, because, all fighters deal with certain things with being a boxer, physically and mentally. But he has to deal with being a celebrity, an international star on top of that. And I can't even imagine that pressure. So, things get old, your whole life gets scrutinized. No matter what moves he makes, it's going to be accepted by some.
The timing of Tank Davis's retirement seems to be strongly shaped by recent challenges. Just ahead of what could have been a major rematch with Lamont Roach, Davis once again found himself dealing with legal troubles. Shortly after his release, he announced his decision to step away from boxing. His ongoing statements about being exhausted with the sport now carry a sense of finality. After years of managing high expectations and personal struggles, Davis appears ready to move on and find peace beyond the ring.
And the woman said that, hey, I looked at him and I asked him to help me, and he looked at me and he turned his head, jumped out of the car and ran, or whatever the case may be. So he has a history of doing things like this to women. Like the facts. Whether you like it or not, whether you're a Tank Davis fan or not, you can't get around that. That's the truth. So now, what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach fight? And better yet, what's going to happen? Will that fight still go on? I don't know. They haven't announced it, made an official announcement yet. We know the fight is scheduled for next month, August, but it hasn't officially been announced yet. And we do know if that fight is announced, PBC will have reporters there to tell those reporters, look, if you want to have access to Gervonta Tank Davis, you better not ask him certain questions. This is what goes on in the media. See, a lot of these guys, they want access to the fighters, so they have to play ball. They have to go along with the get along just so they can get access to interview the fighter. Coach Malachi, I don't give a fuck about the access. Fuck having access to the fighter. I only fuck with those who fuck with me. If you're a fighter who fuck with me, I'll fuck with you. And then, we can do an interview. That's fine. I have no problem with it because I got love for you like that and vice versa. But if it's a fighter that don't like you or don't like me or whatever the case may be, I don't give a fuck. I don't try to fit in in the square circles. If it's a square circle, you know what I mean? If it's a square and a circle, I don't try to fit in with squares. And if you ain't in the circle, I ain't trying to get in the circle. Do you get what I'm saying? So, however, of course, these reporters, that's what they're going to do. So now, as it relates to Lamont Roach, what does Lamont Roach do from here?
Commentators and fans have expressed understanding and empathy toward Gervonta Davis's situation, recognizing the mental and physical toll that boxing can take. Having been in the public eye from a young age, Davis has carried immense pressure for years. Many analysts believe that if his passion for the sport has faded, stepping away is not just a smart decision but a necessary one. There's a shared sentiment that it's better to leave the ring with dignity than to continue when you're no longer at your peak, especially when supporters would rather see him content and healthy than pushing through struggles.
And, ridiculed by others, and some people grow tired of it. Living a public life ain't for everybody. He's been tremendously successful, whatever he decides to do. I wish him well. I think we need to, watch this Lamont Roach fight closely, because we've seen this in the past when Mike Tyson talks about his heart no longer being in it, or, you heard Buddy McGirt recently come out and say, the fire left him, while he was in camp in the middle of a run. I mean, it happens, and, we don't know how it's going to affect him as a fighter. I would hope, he could find it in himself to be motivated and get prepared, and be the best version of himself, because, as a Tank fan, I don't want to see him in the ring in any other capacity. If he can't bring himself to be the best version of himself, then I think he should walk away. But regardless of what he decides to do, for people like myself, I've had a great time, watching his career. I wish him the best in his personal life. He didn't say he's retired immediately. He just said he's going to fight 3 times in 2025, and then it'll be over. Whoever those 3 fights he chooses to fight, we have to respect it. And I would just say, enjoy him while he's here, because, everybody in sports, whether it's boxing or otherwise, is only going to be active for a certain amount of time. And once it's over, it's over. So instead of, Monday morning quarterbacking, ridiculing or criticizing, I think he's been a very special talent, and we need to enjoy him while he's here, because the end may be really near, according to what he's saying. That's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor.
Many within the boxing community believe this could mark a pivotal moment in Gervonta Davis's life. Given everything unfolding around him, now may be the ideal time to step back and reassess his direction. Taking a break offers him the opportunity to reflect, make meaningful changes, and focus on improving his overall well-being. It's a chance to reconnect with his core values and rebuild a sense of balance and stability away from the ongoing pressure and chaos.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment being a father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in an angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, put in the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
Throughout his career, Gervonta Davis has dealt with several legal issues but has often managed to move forward, largely supported by his financial means. However, a pattern has become evident. His repeated involvement in similar situations points to deeper, unresolved personal struggles. Davis himself has admitted to feeling drained by everything connected to boxing. Over time, that frustration has continued to grow, and now, after facing multiple setbacks, he seems convinced that stepping away from the sport is the only path left to find peace and stability.
And as I'm recording this, Tank has just gotten bonded out of jail, although the details of his bond have yet to come out. At this point, it seems like every couple years Tank has some sort of similar run-in with the law. His last major run-in came in December of 2022, where he was arrested for allegedly striking a woman with a closed hand type slap, although these charges were later dropped. But I'm not an expert on any of this, and I'm not really here to discuss details of a DV case. I'll let the courts do that. The question I think I can better speculate on is how this will impact his career. Now, his legal troubles in the past haven't done much to slow him down, so will this time be any different? To answer it in a single word, maybe. Now, Gervonta Davis is undeniably one of the biggest names in the sport, and because of the money he generates when he fights, really no matter what he does, it's hard for him not to find opportunities.
Although Gervonta Davis had previously suggested that 2025 would be his final year in boxing, several high-profile fights were still on the horizon. Fans were especially eager for potential matchups, including a rematch with Lamont Roach. However, given recent events and Davis's current state of mind, those anticipated bouts now seem unlikely to happen. This change has left many fans disappointed, as these fights were seen as opportunities to further cement his legacy in the sport.
Gervonta Davis had his press conference. I think he turned up 4 or 5 hours late. No Calvin Ford, his trainer. No Leonard Enderby. He turned up by himself. Then he went on to say 2025 will be his last year in the sport. He wants to get therapy, and he feels like he can't get therapy unless he leaves the sport of boxing. He's got young kids, and he wants to be the best father he can for those kids. And if he continues fighting, then the therapy won't work. Kind of made sense.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more updates.